What you eating right now?
All these three.
Are you eating a little bit of carbs at the moment, or no?
No, I haven't honestly had like a carb in probably in about 3 or 4 years, man. That's the crazy part about it, you know. After finding you, Chris, and learning about the carnivore diet and keto carnivore, I haven't had a solid carb in that long.
When's the last time you had like ice cream, cake, cookies, candy, anything like that? Did you like over the holidays, or you know?
No, over the holidays I had some keto treats.
Yeah, those are amazing.
Yeah, to tell you the truth, something sugary, man. It had to have been my daughter's 6th birthday. She's 11 now. That's how long my journey has started with this.
How much weight did you lose? 200 something pounds, right?
235 pounds altogether.
So I get asked this question all the time, but you're a better person to ask. I lost 100 pounds. This guy lost 200 pounds. Keep in mind, the 100 pounds that I lost, I was like dead set in the middle of my powerlifting career. He was more sitting on the couch. That's fair to say, right? And he was an obese person. He was as big as they get, and he was also someone that got made fun of a lot for it. I got praised for it when I was that big.
Yeah.
People loved it. People were like, your face is so fat, this is awesome. So I never lived in those shoes. I was never like the fat guy. I didn't have a problem with, even though I was clinically obese for sure, I didn't run into the same problems that some people have that get heavier. After losing all that weight and staying on track for so long, were you able to have diet drinks in there, or stevias or Zevias, or Diet Cokes or any of that kind of stuff?
Last year I started incorporating Zevias in. Mm-hmm. For the longest time, man, I was such a high weight. You know, I was borderline diabetic. Everything was wrong with me. So I found something that worked for me, and it was water. So I had to just stick to it. Even going to Zevia, tasting something like that, this sweet. You know, it does something when you've been 400 pounds.
A little bit of trigger.
Right, you know, so I'll have it every now and then, but I can't have it all the time because that's where the sweet tooth comes in again.
So for now, it's a little easier for you to have it since you lost all that weight.
Absolutely.
But in the beginning, it probably wouldn't have been a good option.
I would have just fell back into the same trap.
Right. What do you think were maybe some other key factors in there? What are some things that you had to change? Because you do have children, and did you have to like get bad foods out of the house, or how did it work for you?
For me, I had to eliminate a lot of the stuff in the pantry. So, you know, what people don't know is I grew up big, right? And it wasn't a secret that I ate like crap.
You're 8, 9, 10?
Right. Okay. So I was made fun of a lot, so I was a closet eater. My worst thing was waking up when everybody else was asleep to go through those cabinets. I had to get rid of them.
I still do that. I still do that today.
So I had to get rid of a lot of those treats, man. And then, you know, it became to where I started thinking I'm being unfair because my daughter at the time, I was robbing her from her childhood. But in all reality, I wasn't really robbing her from her childhood. I was making better decisions for her ahead of time so she doesn't fall into the same trap I did growing up. So that's where I had to get the excuses out of my head to try to keep the pantry full.
Yeah, she doesn't need 20 cookies. She
absolutely,
one or two here or there when you go to
she's a
Subway,
kid.
You buy her a cookie, but you don't bring boxes of cookies in the house.
Exactly. So I had to get those excuses out of my head that I'm not robbing her from being a child. I'm actually helping her find a better way.
You could rob her of something even worse, not having a dad.
Exactly.
If you got too sick.
That was my first thought when I found out about all the bad news that was going inside me. Hey, I'm not going to see her going to the next grade, you know. So
was there a specific trigger? Was there like a specific day where you're like, fuck this?
Yes.
I'm done.
So on her 6th birthday, man, I had been feeling the worst I've ever felt in my life. I was urinating a lot, having to use the bathroom like 4 or 5 times within the hour. I didn't know what was wrong with me. I mean, I knew something was wrong with me. But a lot of times for us, we drag our feet. My ex-wife at the time, I didn't have a doctor to go to. I haven't seen a doctor in God knows how long. She found me a doctor, made me an appointment, filled out all my new hire paperwork. I went in that Monday, and everything hit me in the face that you haven't even began to start changing anything. So
Right. The doctor basically just told you were diabetic.
yes,
and all those
he
things.
prescribed me like every
Was
medication.
he pretty good at delivering that news?
No.
I mean, I don't know if there's a good way or
No,
bad way to deliver
there's
that kind of news anyway.
So when you walk in initially, man, you're the heaviest you've ever been. Everything is wrong with you. He has it even on paperwork.
Right.
It almost makes you feel like more like shit.
Right.
You know, there's no way of telling somebody, hey, you're gonna die if you don't change it, right? You already feel like crap. You walk out feeling like
You already pretty much know that.
right.
Right. Did he turn you on to any specific diet, or he just said you're diabetic and then you looked it up on your own?
He did not turn me on to a specific diet besides, and I'll never forget this, man. He told me, hey, you know, maybe you should start off your morning with just some oatmeal because that's what's healthy. See, a lot of the times, man, what we learn and think growing up is healthy doesn't really necessarily work for everybody
else. Especially
else.
telling a big guy like that, you're gonna throw honey and peanut butter.
Exactly.
In your
So when he told me that, the only thing I could think of, okay, so they got sugary ones, you know, that taste like a cinnamon roll.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what I needed.
And it has a heart on it.
Exactly. So so that's initially what you think, right?
Yeah.
But no, man. I had to actually try to figure out what would steer me in the right direction, right? I sat in my car for about an hour, man. Just like, man, I'm about to die and I got to go tell, you know, my family. So, you know, initially I went to the closest vitamin shop, man. I mean, these guys are healthy and they're jacked, right? And I went in and I said, look, I'm not looking for a magic pill. I just need to know what you're eating.
Right.
So a bodybuilder is going to give you a bodybuilder diet where you're incorporating carbs throughout the day, 6 meals a day with some protein shakes.
Right.
That didn't work for me. But
at least it was a new discipline of some sort, right?
Right. What I had to figure out is what can I find that I can incorporate in my day and still take my daughter, you know, out to dinner or whatever.
Right.
And that's where I discovered
the diet might not have failed you, but maybe you had a hard time making the diet successful.
Exactly.
Probably a good way of putting it. Right?
Exactly. So that's where all that started.
And you started finding keto and carnivore and all that. And then
Correct.
here you are. And you just showed up at SuperTraining like randomly. You believed me that it was free.
I believed you it was free. At the time, I had messaged Chris about Mind Bullet, and he had invited me in. And you know, I had to take the opportunity to show him, like, dude, I followed you guys, and this is what I looked like, you know. Yeah. And he was blown away.
Yeah, I remember him telling me about you and stuff even before I ever met you.
Yeah.
And it was amazing to have you come in and then see all the progress. And then now you're doing what? You're going to compete in powerlifting, right? Is this the second or third meet?
This is my third meet.
Yeah.
Something I never thought I would do ever in my life, and now I'm on my third meet.
What did you deadlift? What's your best deadlift so far?
My best deadlift at a meet is 419.
Yeah.
Yeah.
419. And what did you used to weigh?
405.
405. So you deadlifted more than what you used to weigh?
Yes.
And then how are the other lifts coming along? I know the squat has been kind of the hardest one, right?
My hardest one has been the squat. My bench has gone up. You know, my whole goal coming into here, I wanted to hit 2 plates, and now I hit 2 plates.
Yeah, regularly.
So that was my biggest accomplishment, other than, you know, the 400-pound deadlift. I mean, that's what I wanted to touch, and now I do that.
Did dedication to powerlifting assist you with not being worried about getting like quote unquote skinny or super small? Like, did it help? Because you're still staying big and your arms look good and stuff.
So I came in here at 190, right? And you know, once you become skinny, you don't want to get fat, right? So there's no right way of putting on weight. You know, actually there is, but you know, for my body, my genetics work a little differently. I'm gonna gain it in my stomach a lot more. But being in the powerlifting facility, man, you're not going to move heavier weight unless you learn how to put on some weight, right? So I went from 190, now I'm at 230, to where I can manage the weight a lot better.
40 pounds, and are you comfortable with that?
Yeah, right now I am, yes. But that's not.
But it's for specific goals.
Right.
Then after the competition, maybe you'll
I'm gonna
drop a little bit again.
Drop back, yes. You know, I had to learn in my head that I'm gaining weight for a reason, because once you see the scale moving, it triggers something, right? I hated being on the scale when I was 400 pounds. I still don't like it, even though I'm 200 pounds lighter.
Right.
So I had to get out of that habit and learn how to be okay with it.